So hello and welcome back to the FPL Talk channel, and today I'm going to be talking you through my Game Week 1 team and how many points I got. Now, this is a very interesting week, ahead of the deadline. I was very scared. I kept chopping and changing, which you shouldn't really do. You should trust your own team, but I got scared and I switched a few players in and out, and it may or may not have benefited me, but make sure you stick about because after this we're going to take a look at some of the best performers from this week and whether you should bring them in or not. So without further ado, let's get straight into looking at my team. So I managed to get 67 FPL points, which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest. The average is about 52, so we're quite above that. But make sure to pause the video right now and go comment your Game Week 1 score. And let's see who's got the highest out of everyone watching this video. So pause it and go comment now. But again, 67 points, I've got to be pretty happy with that. My overall rank is just under 2 millionth, but again, that's to be expected. Everyone's probably got around 60 or 70 points, so hopefully that will majorly decrease over the coming weeks. And a total of 8.4 million FPL players. That is ridiculous. That has just increased over the years gone by, and it's just absolutely mad. But without further ado, here is my team. We've got Ramsdale in goal now. Originally, I did have Edison, so a bit disappointed to swap that one. But I had Zinchenko instead of Walker originally, and I just thought, Zinchenko's minutes might be at risk simply because Tierney was back from injury and Xhaka was playing well in midfield. So will Arteta want to switch it up? And of course, when you transfer a player out, they drop a masterclass. So of course, Zinchenko had to get about 12 points, which was annoying. But Aaron Ramsdale got his clean sheet in goal. He was 1 point off a bonus and 1 point off a save bonus as well. So I could have had 8, but I only had to settle with 6. So, it is what it is. But Trent Alexander-Arnold getting 1 point. I mean, Fulham were on fire, let's be honest. Fulham really took the game to Liverpool. Mitrovic for 6.6 million. He's already increased in price. Looks like a very good option because Fulham have some good fixtures. And if they perform how they did then they could be really good and stay up this season going into the following games. So we'll have to see what happens there. But 1 point for Trent. I mean, I'm glad I didn't go for Robertson as my third Liverpool player, simply because it would have been 2 1 points, and at least Luis Diaz had an increased chance of doing something. Cancelo, 7 points. I mean, it was pretty routine versus West Ham, let's be honest. West Ham, we really didn't take the game to him. We just sat back and let him pass it round. It was like a training drill in the second half once they got that second goal where KDB just beautifully slotted Haaland through, and it was a good finish. So a few bonus points for Cancelo though. I didn't have him last year and I really regretted it, but I finally got him this year and I've got to be happy with that. Then also Reece James getting 7. I think he got a few bonus points as well against Everton. Again, Chelsea just scraped it, to be honest. A penalty to Corey. Why on earth did he give away that penalty there? Right on half time. They're about to get in the half at 0-0, but foolish decision. And of course, Ben Chilwell got the assist, and everyone was hoping Jorginho would miss that penalty, all the Reece James owners, but he slotted it away. But I'm happy with that again. And then Walker with another clean sheet. We went for the Man City double up. And Kyle Walker for 5 million from Man City. Yes, I had Zinchenko there, but for 5 million from Man City, he seemed very, very good. He was floating into like a right centre mid position, and he played very well. And Pep Guardiola even said it was one of the best games he had seen Kyle Walker playing a Man City shirt, which I don't know if he was exaggerating there, but it was still pretty decent. Then we have Salah, the captain. I told you to captain Salah, right? If you didn't listen to me, you're foolish. I mean, if you captained Haaland, I won't argue with you, but, Salah always delivers on Game Week 1. That's now 6 Game Week 1s he's delivered and produced a goal or assist, which is crazy. But, I mean, it was a bit lucky how it fell off Nunez and just fell to him, but we're not going to complain about that at all, are we? Then we've got Luis Diaz again, 2 points. He had an offside goal. I think he hit the bar of the post. I don't know which one it was, but he got very close. I mean, at least he was looking lively. Martinelli, what a guy, getting us those points for 6 million as an asset. Beautiful. And looking like he's still going to stay nailed on even when Smith Rowe returns if he keeps playing like that in this Arsenal team. But again, if I would have the money, I would have gone for Saka just because he is more reliable. And even though Martinelli got more points, I still think Saka's clearly more reliable. However, that was a naughty header. He just stood there and it perfectly fell for him and he just slotted it. Again, that was a nice set piece from Arsenal. And they do have some height, Arsenal, now. So, they are a bit more of a threat from those set pieces. Then we have Bailey, the disappointment from Aston Villa in Game Week 1, losing to Bournemouth. A great start for Scott Parker. Honestly, I love some of the speeches I see from him on TikTok. They're so incredible and motivational. And he just perfectly provides his team with the best information possible so they can give him a result. And it's clearly working his team talks, whether it's the ability that they have on the pitch or the team talks getting him motivated, I don't know. But Bailey did not do very well for me at all. However, I wouldn't panic. It's just like Neto. Neto played okay, but he didn't get any returns. But he's got Everton at home next, so it's a good opportunity to get a return. However, I'm just not going to panic because, again, he's only a cheap asset and it's really not a risk having him in there. Then we have Jesus. Now, even though Jesus got 2 points, he was absolutely electrifying and you can't really complain that he got 2 points. I mean, you can. But the way he played shows that he's only going to benefit our teams later on in the season. Whereas if he played bad, then you could complain. However, he did play well, and I really am happy that he did drop a good performance. Like that run where he went on in the first half, in the first few minutes, and absolutely went past some players, breezed past them, and then Martinelli put it wide. I don't know how he missed, but that could have been absolutely beautiful for the fantasy. And then Harry Kane, the biggest disappointment. We didn't have Haaland. Yes, we chose Harry Kane. My tactic was always to go for Kane against Southampton at home, and then second week transfer in Haaland because he had that easy fixture. But Kane decided to do nothing despite playing Southampton, and they scored 4 and he didn't even get a goal or assist. When does Spurs score 4 and Harry Kane does nothing? That's hardly ever of the time, but I've got to firm it now, and Haaland is probably going to be in next week. But as you can see on the bench there, I'm glad Kyle Walker played, because if he didn't, Aït-Nouri would have come on with -1 because he scored an own goal, and that would have been absolutely dreadful. That would have ruined my week even more from not having Haaland. But that was my team, 67 points. I mean, I can't really complain. It is pretty solid, to be honest. Andreas Pereira also on the bench there, played, which you love to see. But I'm going to show you now some players that really stood out to me in game week 1 and you should consider transferring in your team. So the first player we obviously have to speak about is Haaland. I mean, he bagged 2 goals. The first one, have you ever seen a big man move that quick? Because I haven't. It was like a prime Usain Bolt. Areola got caught a bit cold probably coming on for Fabianski, but I think most keepers would have given that away just because of how quick Haaland was. And obviously he got the ball and slotted the penalty away. Nobody was going to take that ball off him once he picked it up. And the second goal, he was making those direct runs all the time. City just needed to adapt their play to it. Like he was even doing them in the Community Shield and the whole of the West Ham game. And De Bruyne finally saw it, slotted him in, and he just finished it clinically as you would expect him to. And he really annoyed me because I didn't have him in. Now, my squad value obviously should be 99.4 million because I had Harry Kane, who dropped in price, and Haaland went to 11.6 million due to his good performance. But I'll let you in on a little secret. I managed to get Haaland in time straight after the game, so I didn't take any money decreases, and now my squad value has actually increased. I do have an extra 0.5 million in the bank, simply because if I didn't transfer him in time, then I had extra money to be flexible with, and I could still make the move, and it's like a safety bank for me. So that's a really clever idea that you could do in FPL, is conserve extra money, just in case things like this, price changes, do affect you majorly. But 13 points from that week. I mean, he's got Bournemouth next. I had to bring him in for Harry Kane, who's got Chelsea away. And Harry Kane, I just don't get how he didn't return against Southampton when Spurs scored 4. It just baffles me. But again, yeah, Haaland has Bournemouth next at home, and you can see him even scoring a hat-trick in this game. It's really going to be a debate whether to give him or Salah the armband. But currently, I've got it on Salah. Whether I change it to Haaland, I am tempted. But I always know Salah is a safe bet. But after watching that West Ham game, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. But let's go and take a look at another Game Week 1 performer and see if you should transfer him in. So finally, we're looking at Kulusevski. Now, he managed to play incredibly in Game Week 1, getting 13 points. And he's probably the least favourable 8 million midfielder, simply because Saka was on red-hot form in pre-season, and Diaz playing for Liverpool with Jota getting a hamstring injury just seemed far more reliable, especially with Richarlison moving to Spurs. But again, Kulusevski has proved his worth, carrying on his form from last season into Game Week 1, dropping 13 points, which is an incredible figure. And for 8.1 million, a Spurs attacker at that value is really good, just because of the volume of goals Spurs actually score. But again, if you didn't have that money in reserve in your bank, then you can't jump from the 8 million to the 8.1 million, as he's already increased. Only 10.5% ownership, which is really low for a Spurs attacker. I would have thought that would be higher, but again, people probably favoured that Richarlison rotational risk that could come into play. But if he keeps playing like this, Richarlison's only going to probably play in the Cup and when the fixture schedule gets tight and people need a rest. So Kulusevski there is really one to watch, and if he keeps getting nailed on in the Premier League, I might have to bring him in. Not going to do it yet though, because I want to keep Diaz and see if he can perform in the long term. But if I don't get those returns and start seeing them, I may have to make a switch, and this is one man I could be considering. If you have enjoyed today's video, please drop a like and subscribe if you're new. I really do appreciate it, and it helps me out if you do. And without further ado, I will see you in the next one.